been a minute. There's not been a ton of things that I've been interested in talking about, so I decided to put everything that I've been watching into one place just for you that I saw in December, or at least most of the things I saw in December. Next, I saw Triple R, which is a Bollywood movie that's getting quite a bit of hype right now. I don't like Bollywood. I don't love the tropes of it, the constant slow motion, the constant look how cool and badass this is, the singing, the musical numbers that just happen out of nowhere, the long run times, the intermissions. I don't care for Bollywood. I really don't. And I hated the last two movies that this director did, Bahubali and Bahubali 2. I thought were awful. So I didn't have high expectations for this. I wasn't going to see it, but I really enjoyed it. I think the storytelling compared to Bahubali is actually a lot more interesting. This is a movie that feels more grounded than most of the Bollywood stuff I've seen. Which benefits the movie hugely. You can't keep making these gigantic, look how badass we are type of movies when you have comically low budgets with really bad visual effects. You just can't keep doing it. And finally, they didn't. And the musical numbers, the visual effects, all the tropes of this genre, the Bollywood genre, kind of work to its benefit. The slow motion, the weird stuff, all the crap that they throw into these movies actually works to this movie's benefit. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. The Naktu, or Nacho, I think it's called, Dese Nach musical number is one of my favorites of the year. I can't get it out of my head. I give it a 7. Next up is The Whale, and my God, this movie f***ed me up more than any movie has in recent memory. Jesus of Christ, this movie was a lot. It's kind of built in that it's going to be very, very sad because it's about a 600-pound man who's desperately trying to reconnect with his family, more specifically his daughter. It's just a depressing concept, especially when you factor in the fact that he's going to die by the weekend, and the first day of this movie is Monday, so he has just a few days to live. It's a sad movie. This much is very true, but it isn't just a sad movie. There's plenty of movies out there where I watch them and I go, yeah, this is pulling on my heartstrings, but that's all it's doing, and it's not really working. But this one has great character work. It has incredible performances by Brendan Fraser and the other people whose names escape me right now. Everybody is great in this except for that missionary guy. He was like fine. And then Darren Aronofsky is just a good director. The way he's able to shoot this movie in such an enclosed space is really interesting. He shoots at 4:3 aspect ratio, making it feel more claustrophobic than it probably would otherwise, leading into you feeling for this giant man who's stuck in his house, and how he keeps people secrets. Like how he shoots around things is super interesting. I just really enjoyed this. I think it's incredibly well made. It's incredibly well performed. The dialogue is great. The performances by everybody not named Brendan Fraser are great, although Brendan Fraser is going to win everything. And I just love the story here. I love the characters. I really connected with it, and I weeped like a baby at the end. Wow. 9 out of 10.
I'm sorry.
You say you're sorry one more time, I will shove a knife right into you. I swear to God.
Go ahead. What's it gonna do? My internal organs are 2 feet in at least.
Next is We're All Going to the World's Fair, which was a movie that came out earlier this year. It's kind of like a psychological thriller about this girl who takes an internet challenge that apparently makes you feel weird. It changes you. You like cut your thumb and wipe it on the screen and then say, I want to go to the World's Fair, and things happen to you. And it's one of those movies where nothing happens, and that's the point. So I can't see a lot of people enjoying this, and I really didn't either. It's one of those films that you watch it and you keep waiting for like this big reveal. Like, oh, this is that. And it's just kind of like exactly what you thought it was. And it's not super interesting. It's kind of well made for what it is. It's low budget. A lot of it's kind of found footage-y because it's like this girl just uploading YouTube videos and then this guy is watching them and saying, oh, something's changing her. This horror game that's online is actually having an effect on her. And then it's just, no, it's just a game and she's playing into it. She's sad and lonely and he's sad and lonely and they're just sad and lonely talking to each other. And that's exactly what it is, and that's exactly how it ends up. It's just a movie where it's exactly what you think it is. I don't know. It's fine. It's watchable, I guess. But it's the blurring lines between reality and fiction has been done better before and more interesting before, and in a way that actually was compelling. This one's just like, oh, it's over now. Okay. 6 out of 10.
All you have to do to get started is take the challenge.
I don't know what to expect. I want to go to the World's Fair. I want to go to the World's Fair. I want to go to the World's Fair.
Next up is Babylon, and wow, this was a lot. This is not what I expected this movie to be, but I love Damien Chazelle, and I really wanted to see it, so of course I saw it. It's 3 hours long, it's completely excessive, and it's almost as if La La Land crashed into Wolf of Wall Street and had an incest child. It's a weird-ass movie, and the first 20 minutes is basically a gigantic Hollywood orgy that made 5 elderly people stand up and leave in my theater. But this was an enjoyable movie. I'm actually very happy with how this turned out. It's one that a lot of people hate, and I can totally see why. Because, again, it's a 3-hour excessive movie about movies. And if you don't love movies, it's gonna be boring as shit, because it is literally just Hollywood actors being scummy and horrible, and then they go on set and they're kind of scummy and horrible to each other while the directors and writers and stuff are scummy and horrible to each other. And then the ending is like, yeah, but movies are magic though, and they live on and they're amazing. And it's just a lot. It's just a lot. The characters here I really enjoyed, though. The music is fantastic. I've been listening to the soundtrack ever since I saw it. I love the music. I think Margot Robbie is phenomenal in this. I think Brad Pitt is phenomenal in this. I think the direction is phenomenal. The editing, which is the most underrated part of any movie, is possibly its biggest saving grace. The editing is incredible. The cinematography is incredible. It's just a really well-made movie that is incredibly messy and very... a lot. It's the best way to put it. It's just a lot. And I enjoyed it. It's not a great date night movie, even though that's exactly what I did. So, I don't know. It's 7 out of 10.
Extreme depravity and debauchery and excess. It's the biggest thing I've ever tried to do.
Action. It was such an insane time. It was just wild.
Next movie is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. What you would think is a cash grab sequel to a unsuccessful, not very good first movie is fantastic. Well, not fantastic. It's good. It's very good. I was pleasantly surprised with this. I had no plans on watching it. The animation looked like it was kind of ripping off Spider-Verse, so it felt a little scummy. But I watched it, and I really liked this movie. It's incredibly well structured. It's incredibly well written for an animated movie of this caliber. And the voice acting is great. The animation is superb. And it's just a really kind of heartwarming, nice movie about a couple of characters who are trying to redeem themselves in the eyes of their friends and the people they love. That's about it. And the wolf guy that plays Death is awesome. So, yeah, it's great. I don't know. I don't have a ton to say about it other than I really enjoyed it. And I saw it in a crowded theater with a bunch of children, which was a giant mistake. 7 out of 10.
You died.
I have 9 lives.
And how many times have you died already?
No! Puss in Boots doesn't need a spotter. Watch! Watch! A cat always lands on his feet. Watch!
You are down to your last life.
Well, that'll just about do it for 2022. We've had a lot of goofs and laughs and fun times. 2023 has started off really hot, so that's great. I saw a couple other movies in between the time when I shot this other stuff and now, but most of them are not really worth talking about. I saw The Woman King, fine. Down with the King, fine. Fabelmans, fine. We talked about that. White Noise, fine. Spin Me Round, fine. Just a lot of mediocre stuff. Argentina 1985, fine. A lot of awards contenders that were all okay. A lot of times during this time of year, it's awards movies and a bunch of shit. So, yeah, a lot of decent stuff and a lot of not so decent stuff, but I hope you got a couple good recommendations out of this video to check out. Some of them I'm sure you've seen, some of them I'm sure you've heard of, but I do hope that you check out at least a handful of the movies I talked about, because more or less they are worth seeking out and experiencing on a large screen if you can manage it. So yeah, here's to 2023. Hopefully no more people get killed or ran over.